Everybody, man, I got a smooth dude on my channel today. Oh my God. And my man is suited and booted, looking good. He ready to go. I got the mayor on my channel, and he'll tell you where he's the mayor of, but he is the mayor. He's the elected official in a town where it might be quite a few white folk. How about that? He that bad. You know, I'm Anthony Brogdon, and you know when you on Strong Inspirations, where I give it to you straight, no chaser. I let them tell the stories. And I thank you so very much for joining us today, my friends. What I'd like for you to do, though, is hit the subscribe button on the channel so that I know you're watching and I can feel you. I'm getting messages. Now people are calling me saying, I want to be on the channel because I got a story. That's not what happened in this case, though. What happened was I was Googling around them islands off the American coast, the East Coast, and I saw his picture. And I said, hey, I want to do that island. And I talked to him, and my man said, I'll do it. All right, I had to coax him a little bit, but he said I'd do it. I want you to like this video because he's going to blow your mind on some Black history in his town. And I know he know what he's talking about because what I told you earlier, he's the mayor. I want you to hit the notifications bell. So when I put new videos up, and I'm doing 5, 6 of them a week now, my friends, and you know this because you're watching, you get a ding. Hey, it's time for a new video, just been released. And then I want you to tell somebody about Strong Inspirations. Don't keep this to yourself. This is my way of preserving Black history. And I say Black history, even though it falls under American history and history in general, because it ain't Black folks, just us doing this. It's everybody. But I give it that African-American slant. And I want you to tell somebody about Strong Inspirations. The other 2 things I want you to do is watch my movie. It's called Business in the Black, The Rise of Black Business in America. Slaves went to college and Black millionaires in the 1800s. And trust me when I tell you this, Madam C.J. Walker, she was not the only one. She worked for a Black lady. We talk about that in the movie. It's very good. It's streaming on Amazon. This is the DVD, but it is streaming. The other thing I would love for you to do is to read my book, Black Business Book. It has over 200 facts, amazing facts, facts I know you don't know. Matter of fact, if you know everything in this book, I'll give your money back. It's that powerful. I believe in it that much. It's streaming, not streaming. It's available on Amazon as an e-reader. But this is the book, and you get the book, I'll autograph it for you. And it's, just go to my website, businessintheblack.net. You can order the book there. It's very reasonable, very, very reasonable, because I'd rather you have it than me. And how about this lastly, before I introduce my guest? Every 10th book I sell, I donate one to a school. And I've donated over 360 books to schools across America. Just y'all take one of these books and then share this. The teachers got to be able to know this information to teach them kids. That's my way of getting it out. I thank you so very much. Lastly, my man, I know he's smiling. He got big things to do. He got meetings and all that stuff he got to deal with. But I got to say one more thing to you, my friends. You hear me use this word strong a lot. Strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And I got a strong brother who wears black and gold. We ain't got to go no further. Y'all know what that means, like I do, on my channel. Sir, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. And Anthony, you really got a lot of energy this morning.
Oh yeah, I come up. Man, I couldn't sleep last night thinking about this interview.
And so, good morning, everybody. My name is Cornell Harvey. I'm the mayor of Brunswick, Georgia. It's a little small town on the coast of Georgia, Southeast Georgia. Also, it's the right in the middle of Savannah and Jacksonville. We're right in the middle, 70 miles from Jacksonville, 70 miles from Savannah.
Okay.
A very beautiful city, a city that people, I tell them all the time, come down here and coast a while. We have coastal barrier islands that's right near. You have to come through Brunswick to get to those islands though. St. Simon's Island, Sea Island, Jekyll Island. A lot of people come down here to visit and to actually just play or whatever, recreate. So, but anyhow, I'm going there, Harvey, and I'm so glad to be the mayor. I've been the mayor this is my last year, my second term. I have 6 months to go. Then I'll be doing something else, like maybe running for state senator or state representative or something of that nature.
Okay, let me just stop you right there, right quick. Where are you from there?
Yes, I am from here. I
Okay.
was born in Tallahassee, Florida. Came here when I was 6 years old with the family, and had all my schooling right here in Brunswick, Georgia.
How big is the city?
The city is about we have about 16,000 residents, but our metropolitan area is about 80 to 90,000.
And the metropolitan area covers what other little towns? Suburbs?
No.
Does that include the islands?
Yes, it does include the island, but we are the only municipality in Glenn County, in our county. So we get a lot of when things happen in the county somewhere, they say Brunswick, Georgia. Really, it didn't happen in Brunswick, Georgia. It happened in the county. So our city limits are really bounded. So we really a little small city here down on the coast.
Okay. What's the racial makeup of your city?
Our racial makeup is Brunswick has about 63% African American, and the rest is Caucasian and so forth like that. But okay. The county is just the opposite. It has about 67% Caucasians and about 27% African Americans.
Now, growing up, was there any civil rights or racial issues that happened in your town that most noted?
Well, one of the things that happened in Brunswick was we had something what we call the quiet conflict. In other words, during the civil rights, we didn't tear up anything or burn anything. What we did, a group of leaders, they came together and they decided that we're not going to do that. And when there was issues, they handled those issues right away. And so we had a peaceful transition into, especially integration of schools in a sense. But I'm sure there was a few incidents. However, we took care of them. The leaders took care of them while I was a kid. I remember those years.
When you say leaders, are these African American religious leaders or
African American religious leaders, school teachers, principals, Caucasians, everybody that we didn't want this town to tear up, and they actually took care of matters. Police chiefs and so forth. If something was happening in the neighborhood, they made sure things will come to a successful conclusion.
Was that always the case, even going back to slavery and stuff like that? Was that, or were there issues that there were one or two plantation owners that were very brutal, or was it always kind of calm there, so to speak?
Pretty much, but I don't really know exactly. I'm not a historian, but I tell you, there's a DVD called The Quiet Conflict. If you look at that, read or see that, you will see exactly how we actually done that. And as a matter of fact, we model ourselves on that when issues come up, to get the people together so we can get around the round table and talk about it, discuss it, and formulate a strategy so we can keep our town safe.
Not all towns did that though.
I know that.
What made your town special? I mean, I know it was the people, but was there something that made them feel that way?
I don't know. I don't know. Back in the day when they did that, I have an idea. But I tell you, when we was met with things in my era, we did the same thing, and it took some coming together. But we came together, and when we hashed it out, formulated a plan, and we got things done successfully. So I'm really proud to be a part of that, more than anything.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back further. Was there slavery in your town?
I imagine it was. It was slavery all around in Southeast Georgia.
Right.
Yes. I'm sure it was, especially on the islands, St. Simon's Island. Sure, there was a lot.
And do you know of plantations in your town or something like that?
Yes. Well, right outside of Brunswick, there's a plantation called Hawful Plantation where they grew rice, and they will get the slaves, the Gullah Geechee slaves were very instrumental in harvesting rice. So they had it on that plantation, and that's right outside the city of Brunswick.
So you just open up something that I wanted to, I guess, delve into. You're in the heart of the Gullah Geechee corridor.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. As a matter of fact, we set up a Gullah Geechee committee here to address those things. As a matter of fact, Queen Quet came down here. She's the princess or the queen of Gullah Geechee Nation.
Yeah.
And talked to us quite a bit. And I tell you, there's a Mr. Zach Lyde. Now, if you want to know some historical facts about Brunswick and about the area, Mr. Zach Lyde, he's one of our resident historians. If you can get past some of his pointed words or fiery words,
I got you.
Without bleeping them out, he would be a very good person to talk to.
And I wouldn't suspect you're not Gullah Geechee yourself.
No, I'm not.
And we have Queen Quet on our channel, everybody. You need to watch her. It was a very tremendous interview. And we also have another gentleman, Griffin Lotson.
Yes, he knows a lot too.
Yep, he's on the channel. He talks about it. When you look at the Gullah Geechee, do they walk around your area, your town in different uniform, or is there festivals or something like that happen there?
Well, they do have a festival, but they don't walk around portraying who they are or whatever. It's just infusing in the culture. When I was a kid, I can remember it was not so fashionable to say that you are a Geechee. They attribute that to something derogatory as a kid. But as time went on and they actually got into exactly what it meant to be a Gullah Geechee, then it became fashionable, which was really, really, really good. And now, since they established the Gullah Geechee corridor, it's really something of a nature that people need to understand where they come from and the reason why they're here, and also the reason why we have such culture down here on the South and on the coast.
Now you can tell that they're Gullah Geechee by the dialect that they talk.
They say that too. Yes.
Yeah. The weather is very good there. Isn't that right? I mean, you don't get cold in the winter and that kind of thing too much, right?
No, we don't get very cold. It can get down to below freezing, but it don't stay that way long. I think it snowed here maybe one time in a blue moon, maybe, or something. But it wouldn't stick or anything. So yeah. we normally have temperatures, especially in the wintertime, down in the 40s or 50s or whatever. But it warms up in the afternoon, so it never really. It's a good climate, I'll say.
Yeah, and I know we towing the line here, everybody, because he is the mayor. But when we talk about that racism, are you the first African-American mayor in the town or no?
Yes, I am. I got elected in 2013. I took office in 2014. And it was really something I was surprised myself as to why there hadn't been an African-American mayor, since we always had a majority of the citizens in the city. And sometimes it becomes a matter of you have to see yourself being in a place, being there. And everybody just assumed that we would just stay in our place, I imagine. But I came along, I got out of high school and I went and joined the military. Of course, seen the world, seen a lot of things. And I said back in 1985, that I was going to come back home and become the mayor of my city. Came back home, I worked for the state for a little while, became a city commissioner for 10 years.
Were you the first Black city commissioner?
No, I was not. They have had at least 4 commissioners on.
And the commissioners like city council.
City councilmen, yes, that's what they are. City council.
Got you.
Yeah, so then I ran for mayor. I was told one time, why don't I just wait and let them run somebody else instead of me? I said, why don't you let them wait? I think we waited long enough. So, and I got elected. And now the good thing about this is not all Blacks voted for me. However, I'm pretty sure not all whites either, but I had enough votes to become the mayor. And I tell you, since then, they have become, they know what I'm all about, my integrity, and what I try to bring to the commission, to the city, a business-like approach. We have rooted out a lot of things But one good thing that's kind of funny is that
Yeah.
my whole commission that I served with for 8 years has been the same. They got reelected. So I've served with people for 8 years, the same core of people, and they have been great.
Hey, did you run against the incumbent?
No. As a matter of fact, I did not. The seat was vacant. We have 2-term limit here, but I ran against someone who I think they was grooming for for the position. However,
and he wasn't black, I don't think, really.
No, he was not.
Yeah.
No, he was not. No,
so you beat the forerunner almost.
Well, I was
not beside yourself. I know the play
yes.
of words.
And then my second term, there was no one running against me. I ran unopposed. So.
Oh man, you're doing a good job. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind, I ask. In towns where they have racial strife, yes, and it makes national news. The sheriff is racist, and they let's say they kill a black guy. Let's say it's funny. The people will reelect the mayor even after that incident.
Well, one of the reasons why is because sometimes the mayor had nothing to do with that. However, I always say that if it happened on your watch, then you have some infusion in that, and that's how I look at it. Even though sometimes a mayor would not come out and speak about it or do anything. I know a friend of mine who's a mayor. Something happened in his town, and it took him a long time before he came out and just to speak about it, and they did not reelect him.
So that's the tightrope you got to walk on there.
Well, yeah. Well, when you come up to this position, you have everybody's. You're responsible for the whole city, and whatever happens on your watch, you're responsible. I take that strongly. I really do.
Yeah, because I can understand it. I know one of the guys, Roland Martin, talked about that once. He said, "Man, they reelected the mayor." After the mayor had this guy who was the sheriff,
right?
And that's got to be his guy who did something, injustice to the people, and that happens. When you have are there prominent clergy and businesses, let's say African American owned in town? Is there an African American owned business that's been there a ton of years?
Yes. We've had I was told that this area was a mecca for Black businesses.
Oh,
people
really?
Came to this area. Yes, people came to this area to do a lot of things. This was one of the places too where buses used to come down to recreate. We had a park that Blacks frequented. We also have on Jekyll Island, we had an area where Blacks went during the segregation times. So people would come down here just to recreate and rest and have vacation. And we had a lot of Black businesses that were successful, and some still today.
Is there the name for the Black neighborhood in town?
Yeah, Black neighborhood called Dixville, and it was prominent, and Blacks owned their homes there. It has fallen into disarray somewhat. But we have, it's on the National Historic Register, as a matter of fact.
Really?
But we have tried to restore some of the things there. One of the things that happened in Brunswick was our downtown. Recession hit us real hard. Our downtown went to, it was like so many storefronts that was empty, whatever. So we set about, the commission and I set about to revitalize our downtown. And our strategy was, when we first came into office, was to revitalize downtown, and then we were going to revitalize the south end, which was Dixville, and also then the inner city. So it's taken us a long time to get downtown straight. As a matter of fact, downtown is booming now.
Oh, I love it.
So now we're working on our inner city. So we started doing some things in the inner city. We have a housing project. I won't say project. We have housing development in our city. So we're building a lot of things here. So it is really coming back. You can see it. But the main thing, Anthony, is that what we're doing, we're building better minds instead of just buildings all the time. We're getting our individuals, our citizens, to understand that what it means to be a citizen of Brunswick, and to think of yourself highly more than you thought before. So therefore, you will always expect the best and not just the less.
Is that the motto? Is that sound like a motto there?
Well,
a slogan or something.
It does, but that's not it. Our slogan was build a better Brunswick, and that's what we've been trying to do for 8 years, and it's really taken off now toward the end of my term. But it doesn't matter. Once you put that seed in there and you water and nurture it, then it will grow. So we're looking at the growth of Brunswick, and it is really growing.
When Brunswick is at its height, what was the high population compared to now? Did a lot of people leave, like you say, during the recession, or
yes,
because there was a particular industry that took a hard hit in Brunswick, or what?
Yes. We used to have the shipyard. We had shipyards there. We built Liberty ships for World War II, and Brunswick was packed with people. And then, of course, people stayed there for a while. Then what happened? Brunswick housing stock. I think the leaders just decided not to improve the housing stock, and people thought, well, you know about the black flight, white flight, or whatever. We started moving into the suburbs where there were new homes and so forth. So, and they left Brunswick to itself. So what we are, the city council, are doing, we are slowly but surely redeveloping those areas. We had to demolish some homes that was in disarray, but we're building things back. One of the issues I want to do, I became mayor, is instead of demolition in houses like we were doing before, and just let them stand. I mean, just let just a vacant lot. We said, if you demo your house, we want you to build back. So we're able to put something back in play. So and that's been happening lately.
Yeah. As we kind of come to a close, are there other surrounding towns that are, for lack of a better word, completely or majority white towns that fight against Brunswick? If you can, we're not live, so we can edit whatever you want. But is there us versus them in that area?
No, I don't think so much. There is an undertone of maybe racism, but you can find it anywhere you go. But there's no town that are against us, so to speak.
I got you.
The issue, what happens in Brunswick, is an issue of economics, because there is an affluent society on Jekyll Island and St. Simon's Island and Sea Island. As a matter of fact, those are some of the richest places in our county.
Really?
So it becomes us them by economics, not necessarily by racial. But then again, it lends itself to racial because most of them who are affluent are not African Americans. So, but the underlying tone is that economics, the money, So and I think
I got you.
And we as a people got to learn how to support each other like we used to do.
I got you.
But we don't do that well.
One or two more questions. That from what that came to mind, the Gullah Geechee, the U.S. government said 30 miles off of the coast is Gullah Geechee territory, which I'm sure Brunswick is a part of that, right?
Yes.
But I don't know if they meant that, okay, it's Gullah Geechee and all black people supposed to run this. And then all of a sudden they started losing some of some of that property through some various means. Well, their means, like in Detroit, they built a freeway that destroyed one of our black neighborhoods. And then there are other instances, not just freeways, they've had riots and then gentrification and things like that. How did was it all black in that territory at one point? And then all of a sudden it started eroding away because it's such beautiful territory?
I don't know. I really don't think so. But I venture to say that St. Simon's Island was basically the majority black, and then they own land there too. And a lot of times they got priced out by taxes and so forth. And most times too, the children after their parents passed away, they didn't see any need for it, so they kind of sold it off too as well. But I tell you, is that sometimes we don't know what we have, and so we just kind of give it up. And I think that we can do a lot better But the Gullah Geechee Quarter, when it came through, I think getting it organized and getting it set in a way in specific goals and aspirations is what really, I don't think we did that in the beginning. But I think now we're beginning to understand that these are the things that we need to do. So, I think it's come along just fine. But no, there hasn't been any taking a land or something to that fact. Most of us, I guess in a sense, kind of gave it up because they really didn't want to stay here in Brunswick. And St. Simon's, as I grew up as a kid, not too many people want to live there. They just thought it was, no, I don't want to live there, because you had to catch the bus to go to school and and whatever from the island. But now it's one of the places, it's like people, it's almost overpopulated.
Really?
Yes, almost overpopulated.
And okay, well, I'm gonna go back to you just 1 second. How you get to be the great man you are? Give me a little bit in your background. What was your father and grandfather? Have you done any of your lineage to see how you got to be how you are?
Some of, my mom was she went to FAMU. We always had that drive to do some things, as a matter of fact, it's just the other day, I was talking to a young man and he told me, he knew my sister. He said, my sister told him years ago, she said, my brother gonna do great things in this city. And that made me get chill bumps because she knew back then that what I was gonna do, and I tell you, growing up in Holiness Church, firstborn Holiness Church, and just a great foundation that I got. I got a great foundation. And then joined the military. The military grounded me and disciplined me enough to know how to do certain things, and also going around the world, seeing other cultures, and being really immersed in that and how to do things. So I knew when I came back, a lot of my background had prepared me for went to school. I knew school was important. Crazy thing is, a funny thing is, my kids, they knew when they graduated from high school that college was the next step. They didn't say, well, am I going, am I not going? They knew exactly that was the next step. And so I think we push our kids, and the good thing about it, we push our kids to do better than we are. And that's something that was ingrained in me as a kid. My mom said, I want you to go further than me. My dad said, I want you to go. My dad told me a time, my dad grabbed me by the hands, held my hands, and he said, son, he said, look here. He said, my hands are rough. And whatever. He said, I had to make a living with my hands.
What did he do?
He was a laborer. He worked at a chemical plant.
In Tallahassee?
No, this was in Brunswick.
Oh, because he had moved, he come to Brunswick, okay.
Yeah, so, and he said, son, he said, I made a living with my hands. He said, I want you to make a living with your mind. He said, go to school. He said, make a living with your mind, and I always remember that, I remember some of the things that he told me. My grandfather told me, he said, son, he said, you're not responsible for how people treat you. You're only responsible and held accountable how you treat others. He said, be patient enough to know when it's time to speak up, when it's time to be quiet. So all those things, those little things from way back has really come to my mind to help formulate me to who I am. And then I became an alpha man, those principles, those tenements really kind of sealed it in too as well. I always say, it's like this: never give a alpha man a mic to speak because you might not get it back. Yeah,
I understand that. As we come to a close, is there a question I haven't asked you? Is there a festival in Brunswick we all need to come to? That kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I tell you, every first Friday we have a big festival downtown.
Oh, really?
It's growing and growing. We have a 4th of July celebration, and it's one of the world famous. As a matter of fact, they recognize that as being one of the famous. So we have a number of festivals here, and we try to do quite a number of things. One thing I want to tell you, Anthony, is that I went to a STEM program 1 year while I was down here when I became the mayor, and there was a couple of young Blacks that was there too. They came down from Atlanta or some other place. I can't remember where it came from, but They asked me about being the mayor. I said, I said, yeah, I'm the mayor. I became the mayor. Da 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 da. And I was just saying, it's not really a big deal. I'm just the mayor.
Yeah.
So this kid stood up and he said, sir, please don't do that.
Right.
He said, don't do it. He said, some of us, we aspire to be where you are. We are proud of where you are. We aspire to be. You inspire us to be that.
Yes.
So please don't say it's nothing, because we realize, we know it's more than what it is, what you're saying.
Ooh, I love it.
And I said, from that day on, I will never ever downplay the role that I play as the mayor.
There you go.
It really means something.
I love it.
And if my inspiration about being who I am has inspired anyone, I'm so happy to do that. And I will talk to anybody about it.
No. What's the website for the city where we can learn about the festivals and that kind of thing?
I think it's cityofbrunswick.org or www.cityofbrunswick.org. I believe that's what it is.
Okay. I thank you for being on the show, man.
I thank you for getting me.
I know you're busy, and everybody, this is what we do at Strong Inspiration. Somehow I find these people and they tell the stories. And that's what he's done. It's a town. How close are you to the water?
We're right there. We're a stone throw from the water. We're a stone throw right from the water.
And then those islands are, how long is the boat ride?
What you mean? To get to the island? It's right. We have a causeway to get there too. So it's really, just.
Oh, you can just drive to the island.
Yeah, drive to the islands. Yeah, the island. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're not.
Oh, okay. I got you. Everybody, we coming down there to the city, and it's gonna make it happen. We're gonna come down there and support him. We're gonna stay in touch with him for his future plans. He got 6 months left to make all that good stuff continue to happen, and I know they love him down there. They're gonna probably put a statue in his honor.
No,
all that kind of stuff right downtown. But then the big thing that we got out of that is how they did work together.
Yes, and we continue to do that.
And they continue to do that. Everybody hit the subscribe button on the channel, hit the like button on this video, hit the notifications bell, tell somebody about Strong Inspirations. And to you, my brother, I say I thank you so very much for coming on the show. And with all sincerity, I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. Tell them people that what you're doing, and let them know that your life is on the line in a good way.
Yes, sir.
To influence us. Thank you for being on the channel. Everybody, bye-bye, we out.
Thank you, Anthony.